everybody, Company Care here with more Doki Doki Literature Club. Last left off, we were having quite a fun time with Yuri, having to read a book together, and I love her with every fiber of my being. So, last we left off, you can use the... Okay. Hey, Yuri? This might be a silly thought, but... the main character kind of reminds me of you a little bit. Duh! You think so? How does she? Well, I guess she's more blunt in a lot of ways. She also second-guesses all the things that she says and does. But, like, she's afraid she'll do something wrong. It's not like I can see into your head or anything, but they're kind of reminiscent of some of your mannerisms. I see. Yuri remains silent for a moment. But, yo, that's probably a terrible thing to have in common with her. That's so embarrassing that you think that. Wait! I didn't mean it in a bad way or anything. Way to fuck up, me. Sorry, I didn't really know you were self-conscious about that sort of thing. I guess I more meant that it's kind of cute. What are you saying all of a sudden? Okay, everyone! Okay, so it wasn't actually that far away. I think it's about time we shared today's poems with each other. We might not have enough time if we wait too long. Yuri exhales, spared from finishing her thought. Is that alright, Yuri? You look kind of down. I'm sorry if you haven't been looking forward to this. It's not... It's fine. Yuri releases her hand from the book, causing it to close on top of my thumb. Alright. I guess I'll do some more reading tonight. Or would you prefer I only read it with you? I guess I don't have too much of a preference either way. In that case, I'll read a little more tonight. It'll be more fun to read with you after it picks up, you know? That's good reasoning. In that case, feel free to finish the first 2 chapters in your own time. Alright. I stand up. I make a mental note of where I left off in the book, and slip it back into my bag. By the way, did you remember to write a poem last night? Yeah. My relaxation ends. I can't believe I agreed to do something so embarrassing. I couldn't really find much inspiration, since I've never really done this before. Well, now that everyone's ready, why don't you find someone to share with? I can't wait! Sayori and Monica enthusiastically pull out their poems. Sayori is on a wrinkled sheet of loose leaf paper torn from a spiral notebook. On the other hand, Monica wrote hers in a composition notebook. I can already see Monica's pristine handwriting from where I sit. Natsuki and Yuri reluctantly comply as well, reaching into their bags. I do feel the same myself. Who should I show my throne to first? Yuri. Yuri seems the most experienced, so I should start with her. I can trust her opinion to be fair. As Yuri reads the poem, I notice her eyes lighten. Exceptional. Huh? What was that? Did I say that out loud? Yuri first covers her mouth, but then ends up covering her whole face. He's going to hate me. You really didn't do anything wrong, Yuri. Huh? That's... I guess you're right. What am I getting so nervous for? Yuri takes a breath. So, what kind of writing experience do you have? Or your use of imagery in metaphors indicates that you've written a lot of poetry before. Really? Wow, that's a huge compliment coming from you. This is actually my first time, really. Huh? Yuri stares at me blankly, then looks at my poem again. Well, I know that. I just meant, Yuri trails off, unable to find an excuse. She traces her finger along the words of the poem, as if breaking it down more thoroughly. Yeah. Okay. This is the reason I was able to tell. It's just that there are specific writing habits that are used typically of new writers. And having been through that myself, I kind of learned to pick up on them. Vaden! Psst, psst. Go away! I'm trying to flirt with this cute girl! Psst, psst. Okay. I think the most noticeable thing I recognize in the new writers is that they try to make their style very deliberate. In other words, they tend to pick up a writing style separate from the topic matter, and they form-fit the two together. The end result is that both the style and the expressiveness are weakened. Once Yuri finds her train of thought, it's as if her demeanor really totally changes. Her stammering is completely gone. She sounds like an expert. Of course, that's not something you can be blamed for. There are so many different skills and techniques that go into writing even a simple poem. Not just finding them and building them, but getting them to work together is possibly the most challenging part. It might take you some time, but it all comes with practice, and learning by example and trying new things. I also hope that everyone else in the club gives you valuable feedback. Natsuki can be a little biased, though. Biased? How? Well... Never mind. I shouldn't be talking about people like that. Sorry. It's fine. Not sure if Yuri's apologizing to herself, to me, or to Natsuki. Do you mind if I read your poem now? Please do. I'd love to share my thought process behind it. Yuri smiles dreamily, as if that's a rare opportunity for her. Aw, are you a Matilda? Which itself is kind of funny. After all, isn't this supposed to be a literature club? Ghost under the light. The tendrils of my hair illuminate beneath the amber glow. Bathing. It must be this one, the last remaining streetlight to have withstood the test of time. The last yet to be replaced by the sickening blue-green hue of the future. I bathe, calm, breathing air in the present and living in the past. The light flickers. I flicker back. Ooh. I love it. I'm sorry I have such terrible handwriting. What? I wasn't thinking about that at all. But it took you a long time to read. Well, I just don't read script very often. I actually think your handwriting is pretty. Yeah, that's a relief. Also, I like the poem. Even though it's short, it was really descriptive. It wasn't too short? Usually I write longer poems. Not at all. I'm really glad you like it. I'll be honest. Since it's our first time sharing, I wanted to write something a little more mild. Something easy to digest, I suppose. Are you into ghosts, Yuri? Actually, the story isn't about a ghost at all, Kyo. Really? I must have totally missed the point. Well, I suppose you did just only glance over it after all. But remember, the poets often express their own thoughts, feelings, and experiences in their work. They usually do more than tell a simple story or paint a picture. In this case, perhaps the subject of the poem is only being symbolically compared to a ghost, lingering in her last remaining place of comfort, unable to let go of the past, and soon to be left with nothing. That's a lot more solemn, putting it that way. I hadn't even thought about that. That's impressive. Eh? It's nothing, really. Yours was impressive too, so... Nah. If anything, I could probably learn a thing or two from you. You think so? Yeah, of course! That came out as cute. Whoops. You know, I was really nervous about doing all this, but in the end, I enjoyed it. I'm gonna keep doing my best for you, Kyo. Me too. Who should I show it next? Monica, what up? Hi, Kyo! Having a good time so far? Yeah. Good! I'm glad to hear it. By the way, since you're new and everything, if you ever have any suggestions for the club, like new activities or things we can do better, I'm always listening. Don't be afraid to bring things up, okay? Alright, I'll keep that in mind. Of course, I'll be afraid to bring things up. I'm much better off just going with the flow until I'm more settled in. Anyway, want to share your poem with me? It's kind of embarrassing, but I guess I have to. Don't worry, Kyo. We're all feel a little embarrassed today, you know? It's that sort of barrier that we all learn to get past soon. Yeah, that's true. I hand Monaco my poem. Great job, Kyo! I was going ooh in my head while reading it. It's really metaphorical. I'm not sure why, but I didn't expect you to go for something so deep. I guess I underestimated you. It's easy for me to keep everyone's expectations low. That way it always counts when I put in some effort. Well, that's not very fair. Well, I guess it worked anyway. You know that Yuri likes this kind of writing, right? Writing that's full of imagery and symbolism. Unlike Sayori, who likes simple and direct words to describe happiness and sadness. Yuri likes it when leaders are left to their own devices in a meeting without it. It's very challenging to write that like that effectively. Both allowing people to get something out of it just by feel, or letting them deeply analyze all of the nuances. It can take years of practice, which I'm assuming Yuri has at this point. I never really asked, though. I'm sure I'm nowhere near her level yet. Don't worry so much about that. You do your own thing. Just keep exploring and learn by trying new things. I'm sure I'll end up trying different things a lot. It could take a while before I feel comfortable. It could take a while before I can feel comfortable doing this. I keep switching voices. That's okay. I'd love to see you try new things. That's the best way to find the kind of style that suits you. Everyone else might need a little bit more bias towards their kinds of styles, but I'll always help you find what suits you the most. So don't force yourself to write the way everyone else wants you to write. It's not like you have to worry about impressing them or anything. Yeah. Anyway, do you want to read my poem now? Don't worry, I'm not very good. You sound pretty confident for someone who claims to not be very good. Well, that's because I have to sound confident. That doesn't mean I always feel that way, you know? I see. Well, let's read it then. Hole in the wall. It couldn't have been me. See the direction the sparkle protrudes? A noisy neighbor? An angry boyfriend? I'll never know. I wasn't home. I peer inside for a clue. No, I can't see. Oh, okay, there's a scroll bar. I can't see. I reel, blind, like a film left out in the sun. But it's too late. My retina's already scorched up with a permanent copy of a meaningless image. It's just a little hole. It wasn't too bright, but it was too deep, stretching forever into everything. A hole of infinite choices. I realize now I wasn't looking in. I was looking out, and he, on the other side, was looking in. So, what do you think? Spooky! It's very freeform, if that's what you call it. Sorry, I'm not really the right person to be asking for feedback. It's okay. Yeah, that kind of style has gotten more popular nowadays. That is, a lot of poems have been putting emphasis on the timing between words and lines. When performed out loud, it can be really powerful. What was the inspiration behind this one? Well, I'm not sure if I know how to put it. I guess you could say I had some kind of epiphany recently. It's been influencing my poems a bit. An epiphany? Yeah, something like that. I'm kind of nervous to talk about deep stuff like that, because it's coming on so strongly. Maybe even after it's better for friends with each other. Anyway. Here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Sometimes when you're writing a poem, or a story, your brain gets too fixated on a specific point. If you try so hard to make it perfect, then you'll never make it any progress. Just force yourself to get something down on the paper and tidy it up later. Another way to think about it is this. If you keep your pen the same spot for too long, you'll just get a big dark puddle of ink. So if you just move your hand and go with the flow. That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening. Aw, you're cute. Sayori. This is a good poem, Kyo. Are you sure it's your first time? Of course. It's not that good. Am I the kind of guy who should be writing poems in his spare time? Who would be? Words? I guess you're right. If you can't even say would and should write, you're not even near well of a reader person. Hey. But that's why it impressed me. Well, to be honest, I was afraid that you wouldn't do it seriously. Or that you wouldn't write one at all. I'm really happy that you just wrote one. It just reminds me how you're really part of the club now. Not to mention the fact that I'm standing in front of you in the club room. Well, of course. I'm not really into it yet, but it doesn't mean I'll break my promise. See? It's like I said before, Kyo. Deep down, you're not selfish at all, you know? Trying new things like this for other people. That's something only really good people do. Thanks, Sayori. I'm not sure if Sayori sees my full picture of my motive here. Then again, I can't deny that she's part of the reason I joined. Knowing how much this means to her and all. Yeah! And I'm gonna make sure you have lots of fun here, okay? This will be my way of thanking you. Alright. I'm gonna hold you to that then. Yay! Now, you'll read my poem too, right? Don't worry, I'm really bad at this. We'll see about that. Dear sunshine, the way you glow through my blinds in the morning, it makes me feel like you miss me. Kissing my forehead to help me out of bed, making me rub the sleepy from my eyes. Are you asking me to come out and play? Are you trusting me to wish away a rainy day? I look above, the sky is blue. It's a secret, but I trust you. Bonnie, go away! It wasn't for you. I could sleep forever, but I'm not mad. I want breakfast. Sayori. This is just a guess, but did you wait until this morning to write this? No! Just a little bit. You can't answer just a little bit to a yes or no question. I forgot to do it last night. Well, at least it makes me feel a little better about myself. Don't be mean. I still tried my best. Yeah. I didn't mean to say it was a bad poem. It came out nice, or how should I put it? It sounds just like you. Really? Yeah. Especially that last line. I made eggs and toast! Even though you were late to school? It's bad to skip breakfast. I get all cranky. Well, I guess there's no point in arguing. Anyway, thanks for showing me. This is so much fun! Monika's the best! Yeah. But next time, I won't forget! And I'm gonna write the best poem ever! Well, I guess I look forward to it. Natsuki last. Let's, Kyo, if you're not going to take this club seriously, then go home. What? Harsh. What? You expect me to let you actually put effort into this? Do you think I'm stupid? I'm not a writer. Maybe it's not very good, but yeah, I did put in effort. We all start somewhere, right? If you're still proud of the first poem you ever wrote, then I'd like to read it. Painful to think about. Fine. Well, sorry. You'll get better anyway. I'd tell you what to improve, but you're better off just trying again. Fair enough. Well, to each their own, I guess. Anyway, I guess I gotta share mine now. Knowing you'll probably think it's stupid. Eagles can fly. Monkeys can climb. Crickets can leap. Horses can race. Owls can seek. Cheetahs can run. Eagles can fly. People can try. But that's about it. Really? You fucker. Yeah. I told you weren't gonna like it. I like it. What? Just be honest. I am. Why are you so convinced that I wouldn't like it? Well, because everyone in high school thinks that writing has to be all sophisticated and stuff. So people don't even take my writing seriously. But isn't the point of poems for people to express themselves? Your writing style wouldn't make your messages any less valid. Yes! Exactly! I like it when it's easy to read, but it hits you hard. Like in this poem. Seeing everyone around you do great things can really be disheartening. So I decided to write about it. Yeah, I understand. but the other nice thing about simple writing is that it puts more weight on the wordplay. Like I set up for the rhyme at the end, but then made it fall flat on purpose. It helps bring out the feeling in the last line. So you did. I guess more went into it than I realized. That's what it means to be a pro. I'm glad you learned something. Didn't expect that from the youngest one here, did ya? Yeah, I guess not. I decided to humor her with her last comment. I don't really care how old everyone is, but if Natsuki is feeling proud, then I won't take that away from her. Whew! I guess that's everyone. I glanced around the room. It was a little more stressful than I anticipated. It's as if everyone is judging me for my mediocre writing abilities. Even if they're just being nice, there's no way my poems can stand up to theirs. This is a literature club after all. I sigh. I guess that's what I ended up getting myself into. Across the room, Sayori and Monica are happily chatting. My eyes land on Yuri and Natsuki. They gingerly exchange sheets of paper, sharing their respective poems. As they read in tandem, I watch their expressions change. Natsuki's eyebrows furrow in frustration. Meanwhile, Yuri just smiles sadly. What's with this language? Huh? Did you say something? Oh, it's nothing. Natsuki dismissively returns the poem to the desk with one hand. I guess you could say it's fancy. Thanks. Yours is cute. Cute? Did you completely miss the symbolism or something? It's clearly about the feeling of giving up. How can that be cute? I know that. I just meant the language, I guess. I was trying to say something nice. You mean you have to try hard? That hard to try to come something nice to say? Thanks, but it really didn't come out nice at all. Well, I do have a couple suggestions. If I was looking for suggestions, I would have asked for someone who actually liked it. Which people did, by the way. Sayori liked it. And Kyo did too. So based on that, I'll gladly give you some suggestions of my own. First of all... Yes? Excuse me. I appreciate the offer, but I've spent a long time establishing my writing style. I don't expect it to change anytime soon, unless of course I've come across something particularly inspiring. Which I haven't yet. And Kyo liked my poem too, you know. He even told me he was impressed by it. Natsuki suddenly stands up. Oh! I didn't realize you were so invested in trying to impress our new member, Yuri. Huh? That's not what I... You're just... Yuri stands up as well. Maybe you're just jealous that Kyo appreciates my advice more than he appreciated yours. Ha! And how do you know he didn't appreciate my advice more, bitch? Are you that so full of yourself? No. If I was full of myself, I would deliberately go out of my way to make everything I do overly cutesy. Is everything okay? Well, you know what? I wasn't the one whose boobs magically grow size bigger as soon as Q started showing up! Natsuki! Natsuki, that's a little... This doesn't involve you! This doesn't involve you! I don't like fighting, guys! Suddenly, both girls turned towards me, as if they just noticed I was standing there. Yo! She's trying to make me look bad. That's not true. She started it. If she can get over herself and learn to appreciate that simple writing is more effective, then this wouldn't have happened in the first place. What's the point in making your poems all convoluted for no reason? The meaning should jump out to the reader, not forcing them to figure it out. Help me explain that to her, Kyo! Wait! There's a reason we have so many deep and expressive words in our language. It's the only way to convey complex feelings and meaning the most effectively. Avoiding them is not only necessarily limiting yourself, it's also a waste. You understand that, right, Kyo?
I'm gonna save before I make a dumb choice. Yep. Return.
Well? I feel like you dragged me into this in the first place. It's not like I know anything about writing. But whomever I agree with, they'll probably make me think more highly of me. Of course, that's going to be Yuri! Natsuki. You're right that I liked your poem. See? Wait! That's not the excuse for you to be so mean. You shouldn't pick a fight just because someone's opinion is different. That's not what happened at all! Yuri wouldn't even take my poems seriously! I understand. Yuri. You're seriously a talented writer. It's no secret that I was impressed. Well, that's... But here's the thing. No matter how simple or refined someone's writing style is, they're still putting feelings into it. It becomes something really personal. That's why Natsuki felt threatened when you said her poem was cute. I see. I didn't notice that I'm sorry. But Natsuki, you took it way too far! Yuri means well, and if you just told her how you felt, then this wouldn't have happened in the first place. Are you kidding? That's exactly what I did! It was her that... Natsuki, I think that's enough. You both said some things you didn't mean. Yuri apologized. Don't you think so, too? You should too. Natsuki clenches her fists. In the end, nobody's taking her side. She's trapped, at this point being defiant only because she can't handle the pressure. I end up even feeling bad for her. Sometimes when I'm hurt, it helps to take a walk and clear my head. Sayori, she doesn't need to... You know what? I'm gonna go do that. I'll spare you if I'm to look in your faces right now. Fuck you. With that warning, Natsuki snatches up her poem up from the desk and storms out. On her way out, she crumbles the poem in her hands and throws it in the trash. Oh, Natsuki. She really didn't need to do that. I look across the room. Yuri has her chin buried in her hands as she stares down at her desk. I gingerly approach her and sit in the adjacent chair. Everything alright? I'm so embarrassed. I can't believe I acted like that. You probably hate me now. No, Yuri! How could anyone not get frustrated after being treated like that? You handled it as well as anyone could. I don't think any less of you. Well, alright, I believe you. Thanks, Kyo. You're too kind. I'm thankful to have you part of this club now. It's nothing. One more thing. That one thing that Natsuki said about, her boobs? I would never do anything so shameful. So... Huh? What thing did Natsuki say? Well, never mind that. I'm gonna make some tea. Good idea. Make enough for more than one person, okay? Yeah. Okay, everyone! It's just about time for us to leave. How did you all feel about sharing poems? It was a lot of fun! Well, I'd say it was worth it. It was alright. Mostly. Kyo, how about you? Yeah, I'd say the same. It was a neat thing to talk about with everyone. Awesome! In that case, we'll do the same thing tomorrow. And maybe you'll learn something from your friends too. So your poems will turn out even better! I think to myself, I did learn a little bit more about the kinds of poems everyone likes. With any luck, that means I can do a better job impressing the one I want to impress. I nod to myself with newfound determination. Yo! Ready to walk home? Sure, let's go. Though I'm gonna save that there, so I'm gonna work on my next poem next time.
Return.
So that's about it from me, so have a good day, everybody! Bye!
More kawaii poems, go!